Hold on, now I gotta reset the chat because it doesn't work. Then I gotta reset the window, the camera, because it's. Thank you. Didn't even have to scroll up in the chat. Thank you very much. The amount of jank I deal with on Linux on a daily basis. Holy fuck. Nobody's allowed. It's illegal to say year of the Linux desktop ever again. We will have the year of a Rust operating system before we have the year of a fucking Linux desktop. That's not happening. That is not happening. Because, like, for everything that's just happened twice, to happen, three things have to go wrong. SDL, Linux, and OBS all need to break for the amount of jankiness that I am experiencing at this very second. I'm making a lot of money today because I keep running fucking ads. Ugh. It's an NVIDIA GPU, but it shouldn't matter. It should not matter which GPU I'm using. This is not something that a decent operating system should allow. The ads have gone up on Twitch. It's not because Twitch has turned them up. It's because I have ads enabled 1 minute into the stream. The reason being that I run them while I haven't actually started the stream in the first 5 minutes, and then you don't get pre-roll ads coming into the stream, which is a very annoying thing. When I'm going to be like, oh, somebody's doing something cool, let me check out their stream, 30 seconds of ads. How anyone discovers anyone's Twitch channel is beyond me. But yeah, what I do is I run the ad when either no one's watching or I'm not doing anything, and then you don't get pre-roll ads, so you can directly enter the stream and see what I'm doing and see if you're interested or not. Because it's very annoying to join someone's stream and then you have to watch ads before you get to the actual stream. Anyway, I don't care what GPU I'm on. I don't care what distro I'm on. I don't care what desktop environment I'm on. Software should just fucking work. And Linux doesn't just fucking work. And SDL does not just fucking work. And OBS does not just fucking work. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. This just doesn't work. It's Raylib. It's Raylib. It's Raylib. It was always you. It was always you. I'm sorry I cheated. I'm sorry I cheated. Raylib. Should have always been you. Now I see that. I apologize. By the way, the other day, okay, I understand that the creator of Raylib goes by Raysan. And immediately my mind went to Japanese, but actually his name is Ramon Santamaria. And I don't know why I stumbled onto not him. Him. And in a video today, I found out that he's actually Spanish. So, perdóname. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. I cheated on Raylib. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have fucking done that. Now my computer has crashed twice because I did that. Y si alguna vez. Sentiste algo lindo por mí, perdóname, perdóname. Right, so now that I have officially apologized to Raylib, VM time, but not because I'm afraid of anything crashing. VM because I'm trying out PopOS. La Sagrada Familia and Raylib. No, wait, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, so why am I checking out PopOS? Because of their desktop environment. I want their desktop environment. I want to see what it's like, because I heard, again, fucking insane, that this is a standout feature. You can customize it from a GUI, instead of being forced to use a text file. Insane. They have ARM. I can't use other than Pacman or Arch-based distro. Absolutely not. Arch is the epitome of wasting time on the computer instead of doing something with it. Look, software should just fucking work. If you want to customize it, customize it. But it should just fucking work by default. You should just be able to launch it and it fucking works. And you resize a window and it doesn't crash your computer. Okay? That's how software should work. Am I asking for too much? Cobol. God damn. I need to clean this folder a little bit. Hold on. From here, I just need to keep this. And I need to keep... Where's PopOS? Here. Alright, so those two I need to keep. That's it. Yeah, I got Musealizer because I was... I saw that he made an app image, like literally the day before I needed to make app images. So of course I used his to see what it's made like. Okay. Alright. Okay, do you know about... No, you don't. Probably not. Oh, you do. Okay. And what version am I on? 24. Sure, man. What was that? 10,000? I didn't mean to do that. 10. And you can have 6 CPUs, not 6 GPUs in this economy. Fuck that. PopOS. By the way, I might not recently, but like soon, be working on drivers for trackpaths, which is actually a tablet in QEMU, and also the same network driver that this is using. So maybe I can make it work. Although they're doing some still network stuff, so maybe the network one won't be an important one. Have you already voted for the next year in notes design? I heard about that. Not really. Look at this mouse lag. Okay, here I want to look at I installed Windows in Spanish, but here I want to look at the issues and talk through them, so I'm gonna do it in English. Yeah, English US. Another keyboard layout? Oh, I see. Clean install. Erase and install. You know, I use the same password anytime I need to use a completely useless password on stream, and nobody's ever guessed it. It to the point that like it was actually a joke back when I did it the first time. It was relevant, it was topical, now it's no longer important. Now you wouldn't even understand why. Maybe you could. It's not like you got your brain wiped, but still. Code review of Temple OS? I wouldn't know. I'm really bad at reading code. I just look at Raylib's LGL. It has RL load texture and takes a format as input. Okay, that could be useful actually. Is that like one thing that I was very glad to get away from in Raylib? But yeah, might want to do that. And by any chance, does Raylib also have? Let's go see Ramon Santamaria one more time. By any chance, does he also have a more full-featured audio library? There's a lot of stuff, actually. FX Gen, Icon, Packer, Text Viewer, Text Packer, File Imager. Man, everything but audio. Man. Everything but fucking audio. Are you serious? By the way, if I wasn't making my own game engine, I would definitely use Raylib. If I wasn't using my own library for game engine, I would definitely use Raylib. That game I made, very pleasant to work with. All the major Linux distros have a fatal flaw. Maintainers from Microsoft get in there and lay poison code to destroy it. You know, the thing is, right now, Microsoft is destroying itself, but Linux has always been destroying itself. So all Apple has to do is just sit back and watch.
Screen reader on.
Thank you.
Screen reader off.
By the way, one of the first things I want to do with an audio library, also for accessibility, yeah, sure. No networks have been found. Oh, that's not good. Time zone. We're in Beijing. All right. Shift, super, and arrows, or drag with the pointer to move windows. I pay Ramon €1 per month. Internship such. Oh, because you're still in an internship. So you don't have more money to pay him. I thought like, what, you have an internship with Raylib? Alright, that makes sense. Don't Microsoft own a portion of OpenAI? I think they do, yeah. They're all those AI companies are very incestuous with each other. They've all just given each other money. I've been using SDL GPU for my game and I've really been enjoying it. Look, I didn't enjoy a single second of what I just did. I enjoyed Raylib. This desktop and launch bar is horrid. I have to say, all of these user-friendly Linux distros look like kid computers. Like they're made for kids. I would be embarrassed if this was like, I don't know, I'm like at a coffee shop and I open my computer and I pull up with the with this fucking thing. No. No, I could not possibly handle that. A computer someone has in a film where they didn't have rights to use Windows. Yeah, but nah, there it looks more like, you know what it looks like? It looks like this. Oh well, when it's a hacker, it's gonna look like this, like the fucking Pip-Boy. By the way, this looks like a Pip-Boy. If I hated myself, I would code in this. Or if I was working on Fallout 5, which might as well, that shit's never gonna come. Wait, never mind. Obsidian's working on the next Fallout. I should be grateful. Let's wreck some. Examples manager. Jesus Christ, has a lot of projects. Screen deck. It's this thing, isn't it? It's literally this thing. Parser. Scans raylib.h to get information about defined structs. Damn. This guy has his own infrastructure going on. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Again, if I wasn't making my own engine, using my own library, which also runs in my own OS, I would use raylib to make games. I was working on a game that I gave up on because I was using Unreal Engine, and that I was constantly fighting the engine for what I was doing. So if I hadn't started an OS, I probably would have made a raylib game. It's pretty cool. Have you tried Godot before? No, I haven't. I have not. It looks cool too, but even then, it's too game engine-y. I want to do my own thing. The thing is, like, at this point, what raylib does and what I do, very similar, except raylib has GPU acceleration, I don't. But I'm planning on adding that soon, so. I'm genuinely terrified to use Vulkan. Cosmic settings, alright, this is what I'm looking for. Wallpaper, let me see your wallpapers, what you got. Now it looks like a kid's computer. I swear to God. I feel like if I lock in like, if I stream tomorrow, I could make my desktop environment look exactly like this. Like, I don't want to, but I would never want to do that. But, like, I feel like, yeah, right? There's not a whole lot going on here. I don't know. The editor is so much faster than Unity, and I picked it up easy. Oh, the Unity editor is something else, man. Unity and Unreal also shooting themselves in the foot, and again, all Godot has to do is just look and laugh. Same as Apple with the operating systems. How do I actually customize the thing, though? Because when I went into... Oh, here, okay. Alright, so look how easy that is. If I want to give you my own color, we're going to make it bright fucking red. Boom. Want to make it green? Make the damn thing green. That easy. Now I'm a hacker. Let's not, though. Let's not do that. Godot is messing up. They're blocking AI PRs. That is not messing up. Then Unreal is shipping the next version, replacing Blueprint with a thinking model, so they're like making cloud. That would be cool if AI worked. Since it doesn't, Godot's the only one that's gonna have a stable code base soon. since I have a feeling that Unreal and Unity might just go down the Z road, and you'll start using them and they will literally break apart in front of you. You'll just stare at them wrong and the whole thing will just come crumbling down. Like Linux. Yeah, like what happens when AI becomes like prohibitively expensive? Like tomorrow, pretty much. You have useless engines. Let's not begin praising AI. I'm an engineer who has to use AI for work. I can tell you you're lying. I know how it works. I know how it doesn't work. And about the Sebastian Lake video, yesterday or the other day in my Discord, I talked about how every time I say that I'm going to work on a new thing, like the next day or 2 days later, I come across either a Zozing video, if it's something like more engineer based, or a Sebastian Lake video, if it's something more graphics based, posted like mere hours ago, explaining exactly what I need. I've used like several GPT and Claude models, and they're dumb as shit. But if you don't know what you're doing, it can look like they're useful. But also, if you have to use a specific model and you have to look at it just right and you have to prompt it just right, maybe the technology is not this thing that fixes everything and it's gonna revolutionize everything, because it doesn't even fucking work. Frosted glass? Boom, 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 boom. Do you see how I don't have to learn syntax to customize what my UI looks like? No, it still looks like shit, again. Just make the corners a little less rounded. Make the icons a little less kid-like. And you might make it look decent. Genuinely would not be that hard. Can I have like a solid wallpaper, no color? I mean, no image, just color? Linux people don't understand the difference between user-friendly and kid-friendly? Oh yeah. I mean, I would rather they make more kid-friendly stuff and eventually, like, allow us to customize it than keep just doing the most obnoxious software ever. Okay, so this is window management settings. What about the dock? Automatically hide the dock. Good job! Amazing! I guess I have to apply? No. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, no, the dock is really hidden right now. Oh, now it worked. Like Gnome, a little bit too big and rounded. But Gnome doesn't look like kid stuff. This does. So yes, but for the worse. Somehow they made it worse than Gnome. And sure, you can Can I customize like the corner radius? Oh, look at that. Yes, kind of. There's round, slightly round, and square. Do you see the difference that makes? Look at the difference. Slightly round, kinda apple-y. Square, professional. Square is professional. Square gets shit done. Slightly round, gets shit done, but can also have fun on Friday evenings. Maybe occasionally Saturday night. Round, directionless. Get a fucking job. Get off my lawn. They're gonna go with square. Now, if you allowed me to customize the corner radius on a slider, oh my god, wouldn't that be great? I'm gonna do that. Interface compact, comfortable, and spacious. It's not super customizable, I have to say. It just seems like they came up with a decent amount of settings. But it's not half bad. It's not half bad. System font, you can change that. Cool. Where's the font that's gonna make everything symbols? Ubuntu Sans! Oh my god, look at that. Holy shit. Let's turn this thing into GNOME now. Okay, no. Wait. There it is. Although, that's just Greek letters, isn't it? Poboto. Or is that... It's a... It's a few letters, right? Because that's Greek. But... Yeah, that is also Greek. Considering that's Poboto and it turns into Roboto. Sure, man. This is Ubuntu, of course. Ubuntu. Greek P is others are. Really? So it's actually just a Greek font. So standard symbols is Greek. When I thought it was gonna be symbols like it was in Z. But then open symbol is just a slightly different font. I don't understand these names. Myanmar, Malayan. I'm assuming these are fonts specific for certain alphabets, but it isn't translating to those alphabets because the interface is in English? Right, because we have like countries here. And these are all languages that have their own script. But none of them actually change the letters like the Greek one did. It's a fair amount of options you got going on here. Might have special... Yeah, I think if I was actually using those languages, then it would be relevant. But since I wouldn't even know how to begin typing a single character of those languages, then not really. I would have to switch my system language to a language that not only can I not speak, but also not read. So let's maybe not do that. Lots of these Nodo fonts. I'm sure you can install your own. Oof. How is that the first option? Oh! There it is! There it is, the font from before, the obfuscation font. Anyway, a lot fewer planes in this one, but still a fair amount of like winter-related symbols. Shit. I just realized I scroll. So, alright. Luckily I can pick any font and it will work. But yeah, D05 and then this... Nah? Deja vu sense. Okay, now I don't really know what font I want. Man, I miss... just fonts that freaking work. I don't know. Fear or something? No, like, I want a font that looks good. By the way, shouldn't the font be written in the font so I can see what they look like? That feels like a pretty reasonable thing to do. Okay, I'm pretty sure Tagalog does not have its own script, so I don't know. Maybe not all of these languages are using their own alphabets. I don't know about Armenian. Um, Mandarin Chinese. Oh, any of those, honestly, if they had fully changed my system, would have been a problem. Now, we have a lot fewer of these. Hold on. I just picked emoji as my monospace font. Wait, emojis are monospace? That makes sense. But I had never thought of it that way. Are they officially monospace? I mean, I think so. But again, I never thought of it that way. One in standard, one in the font itself. Yeah. Yeah, you should have these fonts. Like if you're gonna show me the fonts, show me what they look like. Floating window, match system corners and apply shadows. If I don't do that, they just don't have shadows. They still have their own, okay. Tiled windows. So yeah, tile a window. I do that with... Why do I never full screen these things, by the way? Was it shift meta? I already forgot. They told me, but I already forgot. By the way, I'm not sure what we landed on with the dock, but now it's not visible and I don't know how to bring it up. Dock. Dock. Doctor. Come back. It's actually not supposed to be hidden. So that's a little weird. This is definitely buggy. I was not expecting it to be this buggy. How long has this been around? Because I've been hearing about it for a few months. Only yesterday I truly looked into it, but I've been hearing about it for a few months. And it should not be this buggy, I feel like. I reset it. Oh, wait, it's turned off fully. I didn't notice that. Okay, my bad. Still though, hiding it doesn't really do much. Put it on the left. Yeah, I'm GNOME maxing right now. I'm turning into GNOME. I was not expecting it to be this buggy, that's for sure. Although, to be fair, the thing I'm complaining about wasn't actually a bug. I straight up disabled the dock. This is a bug that I've dealt with. Hold on, I'm keeping that open. Cosmic DE. 2024. Man, that's like a year older than my operating system, and you're dealing with the same bugs that my desktop environment is dealing with. Single person project though. Half the development time. Feel like we're not on equal ground. It's a little concerning. But hey, you do you. Super key action opens the launcher. Okay, so I wanted to see how to make my windows tiled. By the way, one thing that I think is so useful is completely unrelated, kind of. But one thing that I find so useful on Mac is most applications will have a menu like this, right? Mac always has a help menu at the end. And in that help menu, you can search and it will highlight the thing that you were looking for in these menus. It will automatically open the menu and show you. Like if I go here to help and I type in hidden, it will automatically open this and highlight this so I can click it and learn where it is. That's how you do menus, by the way. Odin will have inline assembly support. Ooh. Ooh. Win11 fonts. What we got going on here? That's what it should look like. That's what it should look like. By the way, fonts coming soon. Font rendering, I mean. Would be so cool if I just done with one language. I have to say it would be cool. Like one thing that I really like about my language being compiled to C, that I can just combine it with my existing code base seamlessly. Whereas, like, there's some places in which I would love to use the things that Odin provides, which to be fair, my language also provides. But it's a lot buggier and it doesn't work well. Like the fur, don't use the fur in my language. But that would be a whole lot of work. Can be compiled to be shared. Doesn't it use LLVM though? That's gonna be a little problematic. I don't know. Maybe I want to look into it, but I'm not sure I want to use Odin necessarily. So you guys taught me how to do this. By you guys, I mean Cosmic. But I don't remember how to do. Bye. Did it just crash? This thing is buggy as hell. Oh my god. There's no way, right? Maybe it's because I am running it in a VM. I don't know. Very weird. What's Qt6? I've heard of that before. Right, that's like a rendering thing. Yeah, VM might be the reason for the rendering issues. See how it's done? See how it's done? Qt is like GTK. See, another thing that I kind of know what it is, but not really. I don't really know what it is. I just know both have to do with graphics. I got that. I'm assuming it's like a UI system type of, from what I'm seeing here. I'm doing configuration for it. This is how it's fucking done. You show me a little preview window and you let me customize it with a UI. And if I want to customize it with a dot file, also let me do that. So save this, serialize it to text. That's how it should be. And again, for both this and the argument that I was having about namespaces before, I agree that you should be able to customize your UI with by the way, the arguments that I was having before, which is no longer gonna be on the same VOD because my stream crashed twice. Thanks, SDL. Um, if you want to do things in a more complex way using dot files, is the dog alive? He's alive. um, using dot files, or you want to be explicit about the namespaces that you use in your code, you should be able to do that. But wouldn't it be nice to have some defaults? And you're not really compromising anything. Some UI configuration done in UI seems like a reasonable thing that somehow most of the Linux UI world has not considered even. Then again, most of the Linux UI world does not care about UI. Most of the Linux world does not care about UI. Very stuck in the 1970s type of system. And the same thing goes for namespaces. If you want to be explicit about which namespace a function that you're calling belongs to, you should be able to, but you don't have to. If you know there's not going to be collisions, you just say using namespace like C# does it. I had to pre C# earlier. Oh my god. Using namespace, and all of those symbols are imported into the current file. And if there's collisions, just say, hey, there's a collision here, use the namespace explicitly. Easy. It's that simple. Should be that simple. Both of those things. And you compromise absolutely nothing. Because if you don't want to do UI like this and you want to do it with a text file, you can. And if you want to be explicit about which function belongs to which namespace, you also can. But you lose literally nothing by doing it that way. It's just an explicit and better and a reasonable way of doing it and a better way of doing it. There's also like blurry, but again, I'm gonna say that's just a VM. It is a scaled up window, by the way. Can I tell the display to probably not. Well, depending on which UI, which GPU this is using, it might be able to negotiate a new size. See? Okay, no, definitely revert though. I went for the highest one, which is like 5K. Alright, so that looks better. That looks way better. Is it still okay on stream? I hope so. I think so though. This is how you should do this customization. Ooh, get out of here. Wait, get out of here. Wait, there's like no separation between this and this, so I didn't know where to grab. Maybe there is. And even though I am still in a VM, so it can be a little bit hard to tell. Let's go full screen. Let me see now. No, it's the same color. It's straight up the same color. It's not great. Wait, okay, I tiled it. I made it tileable. I don't know how I did that. I'm also not doing it very well. Yo, what did I do? Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Tileable by default. I gave up on UIs and desktops a while ago. Damn. We should be able to just do that. Wouldn't it be so much cooler if you could do this like this? Font. I can change the font. Icon theme. Wait, okay. The window like tiled, but it didn't do it right. So what icon theme? Oh, right. This is UI. Okay, so this icon theme. Look at that. I can literally turn this into Ubuntu if I want to. Okay, so it's like a UI framework. It gives you a bunch of like useful things like symbols, even icons and whatnot. You can customize the double click interval, cursor flash time, which is very very accessible, I guess. Style sheets. Well, I'm not sure what these are. I'm not sure what they look like. Oh, view? Okay, I can look what it looks like, but not what it's gonna do. Alright, okay. So will that apply to any application? Are you using it for any application, or... Shit, it's hard to tell. I don't know what I did. Did I really apply anything important there? I feel like not really. I used pop icons, so let's use the GNOME ones and see if that changes anything. Apply, close that, open it again. No, okay, that's not the icons for it. Okay. That is a good way of doing customization. That's how it should work. That's how simple it should be. Imagine if all of Linux had common fucking sense. Imagine that. The world. We would be living in the year 3026 right now. Climate change would be fixed. I would not be streaming right now. I would be able to go outside and do things. I would not be dying in this room of heat poisoning, I was gonna say. Imagine that. I wouldn't be dying of heat poisoning. I'm gooey everywhere. Okay, no. I can't think you can make that look too pretty either. We would have no corporate images like these. All I know of I'm GUI is the Unity used it, so that's like most of my exposure to it. It's not super pretty. Yeah, that's better than it looked in Unity. So, no? But hey. Imagine an operating system that knows that Windows exists. Except for the one called Windows. It's called macOS, by the way. POSIX, but fucking reasonable. It's called macOS. And unfortunately, it's become less reasonable recently. So that really sucks. Alright. Actually, you know what? I did see a video the other day. This is macOS so old that it is genuinely not even POSIX. This is actual Mac. So macOS used to be called macOS, then it was called OS X, and then it was called macOS again. I need to find it. But I thought it was a pretty interesting video. Oh, it was care with a C with a K. This.
Susan, you're an icon designer,
Like,
among other things, and
well, yeah. Okay, hold on.
have you learned something from the experience on Lisa as to the effectiveness of icons, how to use them, and how they fit in?
Well, certainly, I think one of the best experiences is seeing a person who's never
Apple
used
IIs
a
using
Lisa
BASIC?
before or a Mac before, and even never used a computer before. It is possible, easily possible, to teach most people to use one of these computers in about 20 minutes. And a lot of
Linux could never. Linux could never. 20 years you couldn't learn how to use Linux properly. 20 years and you're still gonna be like asking a question, they're gonna be like, "Well, the problem is that."
That is because you can explain what an icon
Did you read the
is,
manual?
and a person can remember it easily. So we certainly use Lisa as a jumping off point and making just some refinements and additions for some new features.
This
So you
computer was a
earlier,
flop,
the
by the way.
icons are
I
another
think.
one of the key ergonomic aspects, I suppose, of using a Mac. Maybe you can run through a demonstration here, Susan, and show us how we use the icons to get from place
Did
to
you
place.
open the
Tell us where
pages
we
of
are right
pages
at
of
this
man
moment in the
pages?
Mac.
What
Exactly.
you see now is the image, the icon that you get when you just plug Mac in and turn it on. It prompts you with a picture of the diskette. So you've
And a
got-
question mark saying, "Where's my diskette?"
saying, I need something.
Okay, so
So that all you do is
Do you see how simple that is? Do you see how simple that is? Linux could never. Well, it could fucking try. Alright? Largely the reason that I like to highlight these things and criticize Linux is maybe somebody will listen and make it better.
it only fits in one way, so there's no way you can break it. Or
Build your
mix
own distro. That's what I'm talking about! That's the kind of answer that I expect from the Linux community. Just build your own distro. I know you're joking, and even if you're not, like, I'm not. That is the kind of answer that you would get. No, the kind of answer that you would get, like, when I installed this system, a Debian, I was like, I don't know what desktop environment to use, and I don't know if I should use X11 or Wayland. I installed literally all of them. And then I had trouble with literally all of them. So I looked up how to fix the issues that I was having. And the answer is always, you're using X11. Hold on, you cannot see the finger. You're using X11. The problem is that X11 is old and deprecated. You should be using Wayland. The problem is that you're using Wayland. Wayland is stupid. And is bad. It's bad and unfinished and buggy. You should not be using Wayland. You should be using X11. The problem is KDE. You should be using... I should be suing you. Yeah, here I am. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. She would never tell me. She would never tell me I am using the wrong desktop environment or window manager. She would never tell me that. Let's put it this way. If a window manager or a desktop environment has a major fucking, or a kernel or a user land has a major fucking issue or a major fragmentation issue, something like that, it's not the user's fault. It is the programmer's fault. We should just maybe make software that fucking works. Can we do that?
just pop it in. You get an image of a content Mac, so you know that everything is okay and you're welcomed. It's just so that the person using Mac gets information all the time visually, so nothing has to be translated. A little wristwatch to tell you, just wait 1 second.
things are happening. You've replaced the salt timer.
Yeah, we're
This is a
moving
digital
into
watch.
moving
Okay.
into the 80s.
So what do we have now?
So what we have now is an image on the screen of the diskette that we put in the slot, and it can be
You cannot see it.
with the mouse. It can be moved.
Okay. And it's already showing you the name of that.
Don't know why I did that instead of that.
And it's highlighted in the sense that it's inverted so that Mac knows that you want to do something to this diskette, and your choices of what you might want to do are listed in hidden menus that operate a little bit like window shades. When you move your cursor,
So let's pull down the file menu to see.
Look at that mouse.
right, that our choices, we could find out something about this diskette, or we can just open it, or we could eject it. But if we open it, just say open.
Look at the
and
animation
we
down.
get what we call a window that displays graphically and in words what is contained on the diskette in the machine. So you can see there's a picture of a hand painting, which symbolizes a paint program, and a handwriting for the word processor, and a couple of memos that were already written, some folders. If, say, you want to store a document or two in a folder, it's analogous to life. You just put the piece of paper in the folder.
Now you've got something called the control panel here.
It's funny that that was actually super intuitive. Now you don't really think of it that way because we use paper a lot less. Ironically, because of computers. Obviously, it's still the same way. You can still put a paper in a folder. Sure. But back then, it was a universal thing. Oh, he's going at it. What is...
Tell me what that is.
Always available to you are a number of desk accessories. So you move the cursor to the control panel, let go of the mouse button.
And what do we have?
So this, which looks a little bit like a dashboard, lets you fine-tune the system in a number of ways to your comfort level or just your personal preferences. The computer will work no matter what settings. So that
Such as, what controls do you have?
The fact that Linux cannot say that the computer will work no matter what settings. The computer will not work if you resize a window and you're on an NVIDIA GPU. And also you have it. Again, my stream crashed twice. For no particular reason. So... it was also progressive. Like, OBS crashed first, and then the entire system became unresponsive. So... I don't know what was happening there. Windows 7 was the peak of UX design. I don't think that Windows has ever been the peak of UX design. Mac has always existed, so it doesn't really help.
say, here's a little volume control. You can see the speaker. So every now and then you hear a beep with Mac when you turn it on, or sometimes during applications. If you're at home by yourself and you're listening to the stereo, you might want to know that you'll always hear those beeps. If you're a student working in the library, you can move it so that just the bar will flash, so there's no noise at all. Say some of the other features let you adjust keyboard repeat rate, or a menu flash, or the amount of time between double clicks, which might vary with the age of the person using the computer.
I'm going to rush you because I want to see as much of this as we can in the time we have. Show me Notepad and how that works.
We can pop the control panel away by...
That guy's hair is eager to leave his head. Sorry, I just noticed that.
Just clicking on it. And Notepad lets you, while you're working
It's got somewhere
with the
to be.
application, as well as just this, what we call the Finder, which is like a directory, be able to grab the keyboard and write a note to yourself. Remember to read page 12.
Did you read the manual on
Put this
page
away,
12?
or you could move it over.
Show me how you flip the pages of the Notepad. That's kind of impressive.
We can go to page 2.
Don't forget to
There's
feed the lizards.
Another note, one left for oneself. Flip to page 3. Up to 8 pages of notes that could help you in your work or just remind you of social events.
One of the items was Scrapbook.
Right. Scrapbook lets you keep literally, you're only up to 256. You're only limited by how much memory you have free. Pictures or messages or documents always available for the terms we use are cutting and pasting.
Maybe you can go to
in
Mac Write, and
applications.
then we could build up to how you'd use that.
Right.
She's also genuinely
So
excited to
open a
talk
word
about this.
processor application, you could click on Mac Write and say
Which, shit, I would be too if I had done this great a job.
open if you want to get right to a document, which automatically launches the application. Same procedure, which is why it's easy to use.
And now you're loading the word processor.
Can Linux say that?
Word processor and to the specific document that
I think one of the
we've selected.
advantages, too, of Macintosh is that things happen so quickly. It certainly fits into the ergonomic pattern of the user interacting quickly with the device.
It's just very direct, no complicated sequence of commands to remember. We can, here's an old little bit of sample text. This is how the word processor appears to you. A ruler lets you set formats, which is certainly a familiar object. Say you want to go from single to double space, just click on the wider image if you want.
And you can justify or center. We're not going to have time actually, but you could have pulled up pictures from Mac Paint from the scrapbook and then insert them into the document. and
Paste
so
them
on.
in just by saying paste from the menu. If you want to change a word to be bold, just say bold. Change the font to something like Old English.
Okay, I know you're having fun, Susan, but I'm going to have to stop you.
It's hard
your
when
hand
it's
away.
when it's your baby not to be
I
enthusiastic.
get the feeling. Well,
A lot of those things that she was showing are nowadays very common, but was the Lisa the first, like, commercially widely available UI computer? First mass market personal computer operable to a graphical user interface. So, of course, all of those things were brand new back then. But the philosophy behind it is something that Linux could really fucking pick up from. And I don't want to hear that Linux is the kernel. It's actually... I don't want to hear it. It should be possible to make things intuitive. I'm not very good at that. Okay. That game I made, I tried to make a little video that explained it and nobody got it. 0 people got it. But hey, the Linux ecosystem, yes, the Linux ecosystem should be capable of making something that is user-friendly without looking like something made for kids. And yet make it work. You just have to think about these things a little bit. And that thing, you turn on your computer for the first time. Do you know how to use a UI computer in the what was it? To 1983? Of course not. It's literally the first one. Literally the first one ever. Commercially. Xerox did it first. But also, 32,000 in 2025. So, okay, you had to be rich. But anyway, you turn it on for your first time. You see a disk. You have a disk. There's a slot to put the disk in. Pretty obvious what you have to do. Linux is like, would you like to... what's the host name of this computer? Would you like to, like, I'm blanking on what the Linux installation asks you, because to be fair, PopOS did not ask me any of that stuff, because it is actually user-friendly in its installation. But like the average Linux distro will ask you so many stupid things. Would you like to divide your home folder and your rest of your system into their own individual partition? This is not recommended unless you want to read manual page 35 and you want to... That's exactly what the installation on a computer should be like. Yeah. Hell yeah, it's exactly what I want. KDE kind of did it. Yeah. KDE has a decent user interface. Not looking like something for kids. That's fair. Could you say that they probably copied off of Windows? Sure, as long as it works. I don't care who you copied off of. And it's still a little original, and you can technically, again, customize it pretty well. Again, I haven't even played around with these settings all that much. But the fact that they're visual, I don't want to mess them up right now. When installing Arch, you have to make a file called etc hostname and put a hostname in there. You need to create a file called etc hostname and you need to put hostname in there. If you don't, your computer will not boot. Where she's like, No matter what you do in the settings, your computer will always work. Granted, it's not the settings. You have to mess around in the terminal. But then again, you have to mess around in the terminal for everything in Linux. So what the fuck? By the way, this came up earlier in the chat, but I didn't address it. When I was on Ubuntu, my calendar defaulted. There it is too. Defaults to Sunday, which is the American way of doing calendar. Because Jesus. And I love that my regional settings are not regional, they're based on language. Okay. Anyway, can I actually modify it? I need to do this as root. Lord, save us. The ad didn't render properly, so I can see a single frame of the stream. What the hell? You can set region in the terminal. Exactly. Why is that something I need to do in the terminal? But, alright, I'm gonna wait for the ad to be over on Twitch. But I do agree that users are obsolete. My system does not have users. I don't even think root is a good way of doing things. It's very all or nothing. I think it should be more granular than that. So I don't even want root. But yeah, users are very obsolete. Nowadays, users made sense when computers, like Unix computers, used to be room-sized, and everyone used the same computer at different terminals. The end point in which you which the computer terminated and the user began. I don't know the exact like reason why that word is used, but yeah. Back then, users made sense because I am going to sit here and do my thing, and then I'm gonna get up, and someone else is gonna come on and do their thing, and this should be separate. A home computer can also still have this kind of usage, of course, like you have a family computer, yeah. But let's face it, even when most people have like a family computer, they don't use different users. When you have a family computer, it's like, wait, I forgot to do this thing. Can you give it to me for 5 more minutes? Then what are you gonna do? Log out, log that person in, and then log out? No. So most people don't even bother with users anymore. Servers use users, sure. There it's useful. Or if you truly want to completely sandbox one environment from another. By the way, correct? I was saying this the other day, but I'm not sure if I was correct. Android creates a different user per application, right? Because that way it can sandbox applications without needing to write any custom code, just using the Linux features for users and permissions and all that. I'm pretty sure Android does that. That's a pretty cool usage of users, but then again, it's sandboxing. You don't need to sandbox with the concept of a user necessarily that requires log out, log in, that I completely close everything I'm doing and I completely open everything. Even that should maybe be more granular. I feel like the concept of workspace could be even a better way of doing it. Nobody has their desk IT equipment, only desks with first come, first serve policy. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Do you not even have your own computer? Well, if you have desktop computers, yeah, that makes sense. Although that's kind of dumb, but oh well. Yeah, I guess any computer works. So yeah. Computer labs in schools, perfect sense you would want to have. Well, actually, no, because don't really use users. You just have like a user on the computer, like a computer 123 user on computer 123, and then there's an admin, which is usually a remote type of thing. Yeah, users can be useful, but they're not that useful. They are antiquated, and there's probably better, more granular ways of doing things. Teachers get their own laptops, but they still do users the Windows Server way? Oh, now that I think about it, in college, we did have our own user that we had to log into. No, it wasn't user 123 on the computer. But I don't think we got to keep any files or anything like that. It was mostly just so they would know who's on any computer. If you do anything bad, they would, be able to know it was you. It was mostly for logging purposes more than for actual convenience. Although maybe I'm misremembering it. It's not like I used those computers to save anything on them, so I don't actually remember if you could. Because I mostly never went to class. I had my own computer. But yeah. In Termux, Linux like shell thingy app, the who am I returns U0A535. Interesting. But going back to what I was saying. By the way, I'm pretty sure now my calendar is going to show in Spanish probably. But I could not customize. I could not customize the first day of the week. I have to do that through the terminal or through a file. Sure, if I want to do it through a terminal, I should be able to do it, but why is that the only way of doing it? Come on. It's a ridiculous way of doing things. It's such an antiquated way of doing things. It seems like it's the same way on KDE. I mean, I changed the time here, but I'm not sure what that's gonna do. It didn't do anything. It didn't do a single thing right now. It's not in Spanish. It's not on Monday. Maybe I have to restart or log out, maybe. Yours starts with Mom Day. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm assuming maybe I just need to log out or something, which is another thing. Like, why do I need to log out to do anything? Just reload the damn thing. I used to download Oblivion mods and manga to a flash drive on the school PC. That's probably the kind of thing they were trying to prevent you from doing. Again, they probably did give us a little bit of, like, disk space. At the very least, because, like, we had school projects and whatnot. I'm probably misremembering that they didn't. But yeah, now that I for that matter, I misremember that we had our own users. The reason I remembered is that they changed our passwords and then made it super complex to fix them. We had to talk to the IT guy, the whole class, at the same time to get our passwords reset. That was cool. But not as cool as the one time. Not at school. That my user was changed. Not my user, my password was changed, and I was never informed of it. And also there was a policy in which I couldn't have a password manager on my personal device. I could only have it on the device that was now locked behind the password I didn't know. That's the thing that happened. I'm joking. That's just one of the things that I made inside my little office game that I worked on a while ago that I need to package and finish. That's it. System CTL restart. Doesn't that restart the entire system? Because if not, that's a horrible name. Click on the clock and then there's a settings icon. Yeah, this one. Took me to this. Don't really get to customize that. Don't really get to customize that. Don't really get to customize that. I can change the regional settings, and I changed it, so now everything's in English except for this part, which is in Spanish. Oh, I see there's more. Oh, okay. Alright, so hold on. That thing that I changed, I need to change it back, I guess? Well, okay. At least KDE was reasonable about this, because on GNOME you genuinely need to do it through the terminal. With sudo, mind you. You need to do it with sudo. Holidays. The US Independence Day. Alright. Why are you telling me that? I'm literally in Spain. The Spanish one is not here, although that's a horrible, horrible holiday, so. September 17th. Citizenship Day. What's Citizenship Day? Is that a British thing? Because you can't have an Independence Day, so you might as well have a Citizenship Day. World Poetry Day. Oh, wait, no, I was looking at September. Okay, so, yeah, the Spanish holiday is here. Just not named that, because why would you fucking do that, Spain? United Nations Day, Halloween, Election Day. What am I voting for? Constitution Day and Citizenship Day in the US. Okay, so it straight up is giving me US holidays. Even though, again, I'm in Spain, you should be able to tell that. Maybe I can change it here. Either I change like this, or I just probably... Oh, it has a whole thing. Okay. You know what? Why is US default? United States. It's actually not turned on. Right, I forgot. The United States holidays are a global thing, of course. So yesterday was El Día de las Instituciones. Didn't know that. I forgot to celebrate, god damn it. La Asunción de la Virgen. That's true, on the 15th it's actually a holiday. El Día de la Ciudad Autónoma de Ceuta. La Diada de Cataluña. El Día de Asturias y Nuestra Señora de la Bien Aparecida. Spain is the 86th US state. Yeah, exactly. If none are turned on, it probably turns on US. Wait, hold on. They're gone now. US is default. What the fuck, man? What in the USA is going on? Why is US default? Jesus. Anyway, and this is still so much better. So much better than what the GNOME was doing. By the way, I'm like this close to becoming American since I am Venezuelan, and yeah. So hey, might start celebrating the 4th of July. You never know. All right. So, happy Día de las Instituciones to everyone. And once again, happy heat wave to those who celebrate. It's really funny that it was default US holidays. That is such an American thing to do. It is genuinely such an American thing to do. You wouldn't see me, like, in my operating system do like, oh, you know what? Let's put in the holidays for Spain. You would never see me doing that. And yet the Americans do it. If you don't turn on holidays for your country, you get the holidays for Spain. See how ridiculous that sounds? But no, apparently not. No holidays would be sent. Yeah, exactly. Why is American the default? I do also wonder if it updates. Yeah, it should be like none on top. Then you know my time zone. So you know which country I'm in. So maybe put that first instead of Argentina. Austria, Australia, 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 Australia. And then like the rest afterwards, with none being the default option. Because like you actually turn it on here. Now that I disabled it, okay, it's still the Spanish ones. I was so terrified. Genuinely such a ridiculous thing. Anyway, we've learned of Citizenship Day. Citizenship Day. Default to US. It does not make sense. It does not make sense. Why would you default to the US? You have to understand. The US is a big country. It is nowhere near the biggest country. And most importantly, the vast majority of people exist outside of the US. And considering the amount of like cultural and technological colonialism that America has done, you need to understand that most users are not in the US. So US default is ridiculous. Why would you do that? You can't export your entire culture, force everyone else to consume it, and then be like, by the way, you're in the US, right? You're not? That's weird. Spain? Like in Mexico? Never heard of that. Europe? Oh, so you're white. Oh. Damn. Okay. You probably shouldn't do that. Should not be fucking defaulting to anything. Again, sure, the US has the biggest influence on the rest of the internet. Yeah, I did call it cultural colonialism for a reason. But again, just because we all speak English, just because we all kind of understand American pop culture and stuff like that and media, and granted, most of computing and technology has come from America, does not change the fact that the majority of people are still outside of America, so you cannot default to America. You have to be somewhat reasonable about this. I know I'm asking Americans to be reasonable. It's hard. But give it a try. Ramstein America lyrics, exactly. Yes. Alright. Once again, might genuinely become American by the end of the year. So, who knows? Why am I wearing this anymore? The only reason I've been wearing this today is because yesterday I was doing audio stuff and today maybe I was gonna do audio stuff as well, but then I didn't. So my ears have been sweating for no reason. the entire time. What got me interested in streaming? I genuinely just made a YouTube video once for meh. And then that took off, so I started making more videos, but then it was very well, actually, the reason is that I ran out of things to talk about. So I considered streaming. Actually, don't even know exactly what led me to doing it. But the second I did it, I was like, oh, this is so much better than making videos. I kept making videos for a bit, but then, yeah, it requires a lot of work. And it takes away from other things. Like, I've just been complaining about America for 20 minutes. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I had a video to edit. See? So, I got more important shit to do. No, but I genuinely enjoy it. It can be a lot to handle, but it is fun. It is enjoyable. And, I don't know, it's cool. It's cool. It's not always easy, to be fair. Just because you don't have to video edit, which is something I enjoy, but I don't like to. Like, I enjoy the video editing techniques, but actually editing a full-on video is so much work. Like, you do a minute and you're like, woo, that was so fun. And then you're like, oh, I have like 40 more of these. Shit. Streaming is a lot more casual. And also interaction is nice. You get to see a lot of cool stuff, meet cool people and whatnot. And you get to rant about Linux and America. And SDL. And your stream crashes twice because of SDL and Linux in America. So, I feel like one of those doesn't really fit in there. Well, I'll keep it in anyway. And then OBS has buttons so tiny that you cannot read the text in them. So, anyway. As much as I enjoy streaming, it is after midnight. Maybe it is time to stop. However, like I said, it is a heat wave for the next 50 or so years. So, not a whole lot to do at enjoyable temperatures. Actually, the temperature like peaks at the time that I start streaming. So, I may be streaming more this week. Might as well take advantage of heat waves as much as possible. If I'm gonna be at home and sweating, I might as well be doing something productive in the process. Not doing SDL anymore. Like I said, I want to work on a package manager. I want to continue working on the desktop environment. I want to do font rendering, text editor. Yeah, honestly, I might just choose tomorrow what I work on. If I stream tomorrow, you never know. Maybe I'll find somewhere with AC to go to instead. Alright, drop in Discord, since I will be announcing it there, although I lately have been scheduling my streams again, but not a whole lot of time ahead, especially these streams that I'm deciding on the same day whether I want to do them or not. So, tomorrow might be doing maybe package manager, something that I would enjoy doing. Maybe I might pick up language stuff, or maybe font rendering, or continue the desktop environment. One of those things. I guess we'll see tomorrow. I will see you then.